Let's talk about bread. It's simple, delicious, and everywhere. Chances are you had some today: toast, a sandwich, or a dinner roll. Bread is a cornerstone of our diet, relied on for thousands of years. It's one of the oldest prepared foods, proof of its lasting appeal. At its core, bread is just a few ingredients transformed by science and heat into something magical. The story of bread is the story of civilization. Ancient people ground grains, mixed them with water, and cooked the paste on hot rocks, creating the first flatbreads. Then came yeast, turning dense cakes into the light, airy loaves we love. Every culture has its own bread, its own story. But how do we get bread to millions every day? Not from a cozy bakery, but from a massive, efficient mega factory. Here, science, engineering, and baking unite on an epic scale. Today we'll pull back the curtain on one of these industrial giants. We'll follow the journey from flour and water to the sliced, packaged loaf you bring home. It's a story of precision, speed, and amazing machinery. So, put on your imaginary hairnet. Let's step inside the world of big-time bread making. You'll never look at a simple slice of bread the same way again. Forget the neighborhood bakery. Imagine a building the size of several football fields. This is a mega bread factory where the air hums with machinery and the smell of fresh bread fills every corner. It's a city dedicated to making bread, millions of loaves every single day. Instead of bags of flour, there are towering silos holding thousands of pounds. Pipes crisscross the ceiling, moving ingredients to mixing stations. Everything is automated, controlled by computers from a central room. Conveyor belts act as highways, moving dough and bread through the maze of stainless steel. Robots and machines handle heavy lifting, shaping, and stacking with incredible speed. It's a dance of man and machine, all for maximum efficiency. Cleanliness and safety are paramount. Floors shine, machines gleam, and workers wear uniforms and hairnets. Every surface is sanitized regularly. When you're feeding millions, there's no room for error. The goal bread that's not just delicious, but perfectly safe. This is industrial baking at its most impressive. Every detail is engineered for quality and consistency. The scale is mind-boggling, but the mission is simple: feed the world, one loaf at a time. Welcome to the city of bread. Every loaf starts with mixing, but here, the mixers are massive. Stainless steel spiral mixers hold over 1,000 pounds of dough. Ingredients flow from silos and hoppers, measured by computer for perfect precision. Even a small variation can change the bread's texture. The computer dictates the exact recipe for each bread type. A giant corkscrew hook folds and stretches the dough, developing gluten, the protein network that gives bread its structure. Gluten traps the gas from yeast, making the dough rise. The mixer balances power and finesse, developing gluten without overworking the dough. Mixing is timed to the second for consistency. Too little or too much mixing ruins the loaf. The computer monitors temperature and consistency throughout. When ready, the mixer tilts and pours the smooth elastic dough into a trough. This single batch will become thousands of loaves. The journey from flour to bread has begun. After mixing, the dough needs to rest. This is fermentation. The dough is moved to a climate-controlled room, perfect for yeast to work its magic. Yeast eats sugars, producing carbon dioxide and alcohol. The gas gets trapped by gluten, making the dough rise and fill with air pockets. This is where bread develops its flavor and soft, airy texture. The longer the fermentation, the more complex the taste. In the factory, timing is everything. Enough for flavor, but fast enough for production. After an hour or so, the dough has doubled in size, puffy and alive. The texture is now relaxed and pliable, ready for the next stage. The trough of dough moves to the next part of the line. A simple mixture has become a living mass, full of potential. Now, the massive dough is divided and shaped. The dough slides onto a conveyor and heads to the divider, which cuts it into uniform pieces, each the perfect weight for a loaf. Consistency ensures even baking and happy customers. The divider works fast, cutting hundreds of pieces per minute. The dough pieces are then rounded, forming smooth balls. Rounding traps gases and creates a uniform structure. Machines gently roll each piece into a perfect sphere. The dough balls rest on an overhead conveyor, letting gluten relax. This short pause makes the dough pliable for final shaping. Without it, the dough would resist molding and bake unevenly. Patience, even for a few minutes, is key. The dough is now ready for its final transformation. After resting, the dough balls head to the molding machine. Rollers flatten and then roll the dough into the classic loaf shape. Each loaf drops into a greased pan on a moving conveyor. The pans enter the final proofing chamber, a warm, humid sauna for bread. Here, yeast produces a last burst of gas, making the dough rise over the pan's edge. This final proof gives bread its light, airy texture. Conditions are carefully controlled for perfect results. Too little proofing and bread is dense, too much and it collapses. After about an hour, the loaves are ready for baking. The transformation is almost complete. Next stop, the oven. The climax, baking. Loaves travel into a tunnel oven over 100 feet long on a conveyor. Intense heat triggers oven spring. The dough expands rapidly. Steam and heat set the loaf structure and create the golden crust. The Maillard reaction browns the bread, adding flavor and aroma. Temperature zones are precisely controlled for perfect baking. After 20-30 minutes, golden loaves emerge, fragrant and fully baked. Automated arms remove them from pans, which are cleaned and reused. The loaves move to the next stage, cooling. The bread's creation is complete, but its journey isn't over. Hot from the oven, the loaves must cool before slicing. They travel on multi-tiered racks or spirals, cooling for over an hour. Proper cooling sets the crumb and extends shelf life. Once cooled, loaves enter the slicer. Razor-sharp blades create perfect, even slices in seconds. Guides keep the loaf together as it moves to packaging. This delicate operation ensures every slice stays in place. Thousands of loaves march in unison toward the bagger. The journey from flour to finished bread is nearly complete. One final step remains. The last step, packaging. Sliced loaves enter the bagging machine, which inflates a bag and slides the loaf inside in seconds. Bags are sealed with a clip or twist tie, labeled and checked for quality. Metal detectors and human inspectors ensure safety and perfection. Approved loaves are packed into trays, stacked on pallets and loaded onto trucks. Within hours, fresh bread is on its way to stores, schools and homes. Thanks to this marvel of modern food production, bread goes from flour to your table in a single day. The Mega Bread Factory keeps this essential food within everyone's reach.